Ever wondered if you're about to break a cruise rule without even realizing it? Maybe you've heard stories about passengers being turned away from restaurants, embarrassed at the pool, or even getting into trouble in port over something as simple as what they were wearing. The truth is, modern cruise dress codes are far less strict than they used to be, but there are still a few rules and hidden customs that can catch first-time cruisers completely off guard. In this video, we're separating cruise myths from reality. You'll learn what the cruise lines actually expect, which clothing choices can create unexpected problems, and the small mistakes that instantly tell experienced cruisers you're a first-timer. We'll also reveal one surprisingly common packing mistake that can leave you uncomfortable for your entire vacation if you don't prepare before boarding. This isn't about expensive fashion or dressing to impress. It's about knowing what works, what doesn't, and how to enjoy your cruise without unnecessary stress. So, before you zip up your suitcase, let's get started. Number 1. 2 clothing choices that can cause real problems. Let's begin with 2 items that many passengers pack without thinking twice, yet both can lead to awkward situations. And one of them could even cause legal trouble in certain destinations. The first is camouflage clothing. On board the ship, wearing camouflage usually isn't an issue. But once you step off in several Caribbean destinations, including Jamaica, Barbados, and Antigua and Barbuda, the rules can change. In these countries, camouflage clothing is often reserved for military personnel, and local laws may prohibit civilians from wearing it. That means your favorite camo shorts or jacket could lead to unwanted attention from local authorities or even being asked to return to the ship before your day ashore begins. The second item isn't illegal, but it has a playing, meaning that surprises many first-time cruisers: the upside-down pineapple. Over the years, this symbol has become widely recognized within the cruise community as a signal associated with the swinger lifestyle. If that's not the impression you want to give, it's best to avoid displaying upside-down pineapples on your shirts, bags, magnets, or cabin door decorations. A normal upright pineapple simply says vacation. Turn it upside down, and many passengers may interpret it very differently. Number 2. Improper swimwear and cover-ups. From prints you shouldn't wear on land, let's move to what not to wear on the Lido deck and beyond. This is one of the biggest sources of tension on any cruise. First, let's be clear. Cruise lines are not the place for your most revealing micro-bikinis, especially on family-focused lines like Disney or Royal Caribbean. While cruise lines like Virgin Voyages have a much more liberal and adult atmosphere, it's always smart to be aware of your audience. What flies on a party cruise to Ibiza might not be appropriate for a ship filled with kids and grandparents. But the more serious issue is what happens when you leave the pool. Once your feet step off the pool deck and into an indoor area, you must have a proper cover-up. And I don't mean a thin, see-through mesh dress. I mean a real shirt, a sundress, or shorts. This is a matter of hygiene and respect, and the crew is required to enforce it, especially at the entrance to the buffet or cafes. And speaking of the buffet, never ever walk in dripping wet. Not only is it a dangerous slip hazard for other passengers, but you will be politely, and sometimes not so politely, turned away at the door. It's an embarrassing situation that is easily avoided. The same goes for your feet. No bare feet are allowed in any indoor dining area. You have to wear shoes. Number 3. Shorts and jeans. This is one of the most debated and confusing dress code topics, and it's where many first-time cruisers get tripped up. Some popular cruise lines still officially prohibit shorts for men in the main dining room during dinner service. This includes celebrity cruises, MSC cruises, on gala or evening wear nights, and princess cruises. Carnival Cruise Line also lists shorts, including dress shorts, as inappropriate during cruise casual and cruise elegant nights. Royal Caribbean, by contrast, does not have a formal ban. Their guidelines encourage smart casual attire for dinner, but shorts are not explicitly prohibited, and many guests wear neat dress shorts to dinner without issue. Enforcement can vary, so while you'll often get in with no problem, there's always a chance you could be asked to change. Jeans are where the biggest shift has happened. For years, they were discouraged at dinner, but this has relaxed significantly. Today, almost all cruise lines allow jeans in the main dining room, even on smart casual nights, provided they look presentable. That means clean, dark-washed jeans without rips, holes, or frayed edges are a safe and versatile choice. On hyper-casual lines like Norwegian or Virgin Voyages, the dress code is even more relaxed. Nice shorts and jeans are acceptable almost everywhere. The simple formula to remember is this: shorts are best for the daytime, while jeans or chinos are your go-to option for a relaxed dinner. Formal nights and certain specialty restaurants may still require long pants, but outside of those settings, most cruise passengers today dine comfortably in neat casual attire. Number 4. Formal night attire. Speaking of dressing up for dinner, this next topic is the single biggest source of packing stress for new cruisers. Forget everything you've seen in old movies. Formal wear today is much more accessible and relaxed. The myth is that you need a tuxedo or floor-length ball gown. In reality, on almost all cruises, that's simply not true. While lines may still call it formal night or gala night, the modern dress code emphasizes looking your best, not being the most formal. For men, a suit is always a classic choice, but many guests are perfectly comfortable in a sport coat or even just a crisply pressed collared shirt with dress trousers. For women, cocktail dresses, elegant jumpsuits, or stylish separates are the most common and ideal options. The one notable exception is Cunard, which continues to uphold a highly traditional standard. On their gala evenings, men are expected to wear dinner jackets, tuxedos, or dark suits with ties, while women typically wear evening gowns or formal pantsuits. But on virtually every other cruise line, the goal is simply to feel classy and elevated, not stressed and uncomfortable. Number 5. Ripped or distressed clothing. This next one is a modern fashion trend that often clashes with the traditional atmosphere of a cruise ship evening. We're talking about ripped, torn, or overly distressed clothing. While a pair of stylishly ripped designer jeans might be a fashion statement on land, on a cruise ship, it often falls under the no torn clothing rule for evening dining. This applies to the main dining room and especially the specialty restaurants. The logic is simple. The cruise lines want to maintain a slightly more elevated night-out atmosphere in their dining venues, and distressed wear is seen as just a little too casual for that setting. This is an easy one to get right. If your jeans or shorts have rips or holes in them, whether they came that way or not, save them for daytime wear around the ship or for your adventures in port. For dinner, opt for solid, non-distressed clothing to fit in with the evening's ambiance. Number 6. Pajamas, slippers, and bathrobes. Now that we've covered what to wear out in the evening, let's talk about the unspoken etiquette of keeping your cabin wear in your cabin, which is crucial for maintaining the ship's special vacation vibe. Let's start with bathrobes. It's a fantastic perk when the cruise line provides a comfy robe, and it's perfect for lounging in your room or wearing on your balcony while you enjoy a room service breakfast. However, it's considered bad etiquette to wear your bathrobe into public dining areas, including the buffet. The one major exception is when you are walking directly to or from the spa, the pool, or the hot tubs. Especially on a chilly Alaska cruise, seeing someone in a robe making a quick dash to the heated pool is perfectly acceptable. If you do wear it to the buffet, be prepared for a lot of stares, and you might even be politely corrected, as one woman was in the MSC Yacht Club when she was kindly asked to return to her suite and put on some clothes. The same logic applies to slippers. Most cruisers agree they simply shouldn't be worn outside of your cabin. Now, pajamas are a bit more debated, but my view is that they are best saved for your cabin or a pajama party. I make a clear exception for young children and for special themed events, like families going to breakfast in matching PJs on Christmas morning. And honestly, if teenagers are wearing pajama pants to grab a late-night slice of pizza, that's fine too. Ultimately, cruise ships are beautiful venues, and dressing appropriately helps maintain that special ambiance. Most of us wouldn't wear a bathrobe or pajamas out to a nice restaurant at home, and the same courtesy applies at sea. Now, I really want to know your thoughts on this one. Let me know in the comments what you think about the great bathrobe and pajama debate. Number 7. Offensive or profane clothing. Moving on from unspoken etiquette to a very firm written rule on every single cruise line. Your vacation is a shared space with thousands of other people from all walks of life, including children and seniors. Because of this, all cruise lines have a policy against clothing with profanity, offensive language, or graphic, obscene imagery. It's not a matter of free speech, it's a condition of your ticket. If you wear a t-shirt with a swear word on it, a crew member is well within their rights to politely ask you to go back to your cabin and change. And on a related note, I'd offer some practical advice. Leave any clothing with controversial or political messages at home. Regardless of your views, a cruise ship is not the place for a heated debate. You're there to relax and escape the arguments of the real world, not start them with a stranger by the pool. Keeping your clothing neutral is the easiest way to ensure a peaceful and enjoyable vacation for everyone. Number 8. Baseball caps in dining venues. This is a classic rule of etiquette that still holds true on a cruise ship, and it's a simple sign of respect in a dining setting. Most cruise lines list in their official dress code that baseball caps and hats should not be worn in the main dining room or specialty restaurants in the evening. It's a simple traditional sign of respect in a dining setting, similar to not putting your elbows on the table. While you'll probably see people doing it, and the crew may not always enforce it, it's a small gesture that helps uphold the nice, restaurant-like atmosphere. However, this is a perfect time to mention the "give people grace" rule. While you should take your own hat off, it's best not to judge others who don't. You never know someone's personal situation. A person may be wearing a hat or a head covering for a number of reasons, including hair loss due to medical treatments. The best practice is to simply follow the rule yourself and extend courtesy to everyone else. Number 9. Overpowering cologne or perfume. From what people see to what they smell. This next point is a quick but incredibly important one for ensuring everyone around you has a pleasant cruise. It's about being mindful of scents in a shared, enclosed environment. We've all been there. You step into an elevator and someone who was just in there has left behind a cloud of cologne or perfume so thick you can almost taste it. On a cruise ship, with its narrow hallways and crowded elevators, that effect is magnified tenfold. For many people, strong fragrances aren't just a minor annoyance. They can instantly trigger severe migraines, allergies, or even asthma attacks. This is all about courtesy. The golden rule is that your scent should be discovered, not announced. If someone can smell you from 5 feet away, it's a little too much. A less is more approach ensures that you smell nice to those near you without causing discomfort to your fellow passengers in a confined space. Number 10. Essential men's clothing rules. This section has a simple don't and a crucial do for the men watching. First, a simple don't for the evening. Tank tops. While a tank top, or a sleeveless shirt, is the perfect thing to wear to the Lido buffet for lunch or while grabbing a drink by the pool, it is considered too casual for the main dining rooms and specialty restaurants at night. Pretty much every cruise line includes this in their dinner dress code. Think of it as a simple day versus night distinction. As soon as you're getting ready for your evening meal, you'll need to switch to a shirt with sleeves, like a t-shirt, a polo, or a collared button-down. This brings us to a crucial piece of practical advice. No matter the cruise line, always pack at least one pair of long pants and one collared shirt. This is your just-in-case outfit. Even on a famously casual line like Norwegian, their upscale specialty restaurants will still have a dress code that requires a collared shirt and pants rather than shorts. This can be a simple golf-style shirt and any type of long pants, even a nice pair of jeans. Having that one smart casual outfit packed guarantees you can dine absolutely anywhere on any ship without a single issue. Number 11. Brand new or impractical shoes. All right, pay close attention to this next one, because it might be the most important piece of practical advice in this entire video. Ignoring this can physically ruin your vacation. I'm talking about your shoes. The number one rookie mistake a first-time cruiser can make is bringing a brand new pair of shoes they haven't broken in yet. You will walk more than you can possibly imagine on a cruise. These ships are gigantic. and a simple walk from your cabin to the theater and then to dinner can easily be half a mile. Blisters are a guaranteed vacation wrecker, so please, wear your shoes for a few days at home before you pack them. The second shoe mistake is not packing a pair of closed-toe shoes like sneakers or running shoes. Many of the most exciting onboard activities like ropes courses, zip lines, rock climbing walls, and go-kart tracks absolutely require them for safety. You will not be allowed to participate in sandals or flip-flops. This is especially critical if you're traveling with kids or teens. You don't want them to be left out of the fun because they didn't have the right footwear. Number 12. Expensive or flashy jewelry. This next piece of advice moves from comfort and etiquette on the ship to personal safety when you're off the ship. This isn't about style. It's about making sure you don't become an easy target. When you get off the ship in a cruise port, you should never be wearing expensive or flashy jewelry. A diamond necklace, a luxury watch, or even a heavy gold chain can instantly signal to opportunistic thieves that you are a tourist and a valuable target. It's an unfortunate reality, but pickpocketing and chain-snatching incidents do happen in busy tourist areas. You are far better off blending in than standing out. The solution is simple and safe. Leave anything valuable or sentimental locked securely in your cabin safe. If you love to accessorize, pack some fun, inexpensive costume jewelry for your port days. That way, you can still complete your outfit without carrying the stress and risk of losing something precious. Save your best pieces for the elegant nights back on the ship. Number 13. Forgetting a jacket or sweater. We've arrived at our final point, and it's a classic rookie mistake that has nothing to do with rules and everything to do with comfort. It's assuming that a hot weather cruise only requires hot weather clothing. Even if you're sailing to the sun-drenched Caribbean, you need to pack for the cold. Why? Because cruise ships are aggressively errand-conditioned. The moment you step inside from the hot, humid deck, the temperature can drop dramatically. Theaters, casinos, and especially the main dining room can feel downright chilly after a day in the sun. There's nothing worse than shivering through a fantastic meal or a Broadway-style show. The packing secret is layers. No matter your destination, you should always pack a light jacket, a cardigan, a pashmina, or even just a simple hoodie. Having that extra layer you can throw on is the key to staying comfortable as you move between the warm outdoors and the cool indoor spaces of the ship, especially after the sun goes down. So, there you have it. 13 simple tips to help you pack smarter and cruise with total confidence. Now, I want to hear from you. What is your number one cruise dress code tip? Or do you have a funny story about a mistake you made on your first cruise? Share it in the comments below. Your advice could help out a fellow traveler. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this video helpful, please give it a big thumbs up. It really does help the channel. And if you haven't already, make sure you subscribe for more essential cruise tips. Until next time, happy cruising.